Broadcast, start recording. Okay, good evening. It is Friday, August 2nd. It's just after the top of the hour. And if you could hear the sound of my voice, please let me know in the chat room. Let us know
Hi, chat room.
you can
La
hear
la 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 la.
us.
Very important. We need to know if we're connecting. No,
One
no,
ringy
no, no.
dingy.
One ringy ding, one ringy dingy, two ringy dingies. Ha! Oh, nobody knows that character anymore, DJ.
I know. It's despicable.
And we're old. No, I'm old. Anyways, I'll speak for myself. I'm old.
Well, we're all getting older as we breathe.
Sure, 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 sure.
Can you see my sapphire hair?
Well, yes. Did you retouch recently?
The other week, yes, I do it every other
Okay.
month because it gets a little expensive.
I wondered. Oh, Tommy can hear us perfectly, which,
Yay!
well, that's unusual. No, apparently we have connected and done everything correctly.
Woo!
Somehow we are being presented perfectly. I don't
And,
know
and
how
and
that happened.
I'm sort of dressed for bed because this is supposed to be, a cartoon. So I'm in my robe and my underclothes and
Yeah, you have to imagine what's below the jester hat. Uh,
more
it's a,
hair.
listen. What I believe is you're in a pajama with footsies.
Hmm.
That's all I want to believe, and that's what I believe.
Okay. And actually, technically, there should be more light on the subject, so let me accomplish that since we're already, doing our encore performance.
Oh, is that what this is? It's an encore.
Well,
It's an
I encore all the time, huh?
okay. There you go.
Let's see. Gotta get out my little beauty bar here.
Oh my! I don't even want to know what that is.
Let's see. Things that I can put in front of my face and make it so I can't read things. Ha!
My beauty bar has
A quarter of
like
aloe and moisturizing cream.
no.
A
No, my beauty bar has I was just trying to think of the name for the
first
stuff
name and
that
Oscar
slough
Mayer.
that no, it sloughs off skin, so you have a bar that has like razor blades in it
Oh,
so that it sloughs off your
see,
skin.
here I was thinking you were going to say that the secret to your beautiful skin is you use the slimy stuff that pours out of the lunch meat package.
Oh my god, that's horrible. Oh, that is oh god, I can't think of anything worse than that. You won. You won that. Oh
They used to
no.
call you Olive for olive loaf.
Oh, olive loaf. What was the thing? The thing? The lunch meat that was called brains or something.
Oh, was
What?
there something called that?
Am I making that up?
I am not quite sure.
There was something. I don't know. I must be hallucinating. Because surely there isn't a luncheon meat that's called something brains. It
Mm,
can't be.
brains. Well, since I got my beauty bar out here now, I figure we've got our places right.
Well, I think so. I do
Okay.
believe I have everything in place.
All right. So, apologies if this is a little rough. Gertie was at an all-nighter, and
Hey, let's not talk about that, okay?
Oh, she doesn't want to talk about that, DJ.
and as we say in the world of podcasting, we'll fix it in post. Um,
Fix it in post.
Yeah, we'll
yes.
fix post.
All right, places, folks. Oh, hey, Gertie, just the person I've been looking for.
Ah, yeah. Let me find my. Oh, yeah, really? Now? What? Listen, do I look like a cleaning lady, Buster?
No, but Mike's younger and less bitter.
Oh. If you lost something in here, it's not my fault. I'm never here. Besides, I'm just looking for that bottle of Tums that always seems to be floating around this place. I gotta find it. Where is it? Where?
Oh, just looking through the drawers here. And let me find my place. I lost my place. Okay.
No problem.
Okay. So, hey, Gertie, another all-nighter, huh? Were you up with your gal pals again?
Listen, buddy, just because my friend's idea of a good time isn't sitting around watching the boob tube doesn't mean they're just naturally waiting for God. Myrna just hitched to her second husband. And we just got back from a bachelorette party in Atlantic City. Do you understand? Okay,
Oh,
things are happening here.
Atlantic City. I thought that guy lost his liquor license.
Oh, let me look. Hmm. Uh, oh, real cute. Real cute. Um, DJ, what are you looking for anyways?
Speaking of Mike, he's selling that old VW bus of his, the one that he keeps out back.
Jesus, I thought he was living out of that thing.
No, well, not quite, but anyways, he said I could borrow it to go camping this weekend, and if I like it, I can put in an offer.
Well, okay. Mm, mm.
Let's see.
You got the keys? Oh,
Oh, yeah, I think I found them. Hey,
okay.
here they are. But what's this?
Well, it looks like a stack of stupid junk mail to me.
Well, they're a stack of something. Hey, they're addressed to Toppy and me.
Well, oh, um, maybe, okay, maybe I better go and change the tank on the soda fountain, or maybe check to see if, the candy bars are out of date. I think I gotta go. Okay, bye.
Gertie, don't ignore me. Isn't over. I'm gonna get down to the bottom of this thing.
Jeepers, I don't know. What was that?
Oh, hey there,
Uh,
Toppy.
and scene. Hi,
Hi.
DJ. I think we had what we call a skit.
We
Yeah.
did. And, one of the cast members of tonight's program, is so familiar with working in the world of skits, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
It's the first Friday of August.
August.
Yes, the first full, or actually, I think it might be the first full month of summer, otherwise known as, oh my God, I'm melting.
Yeah.
Um,
Seriously.
but, it wasn't all that long ago. We had Independence Day, and everyone has pulled out their little kiddie pools to cool their tootsies and have made their plans to get away. So how is your summer going? Are you keeping the lawn mowed?
Well, you know what? You want to know what? Oddly enough, it's been so hot, and you know, we've had storm bursts. It's kind of like Florida, where like it'll rain for like half a second and then the sun comes back out. But on the whole, we're on a deficit of water, and consequently, the lawn's kind of dry, and it hasn't really been growing. And I'm not going to complain because that means I don't have to mow it, so I'm happy. Yeah, but that's the way it's been. Yep.
Yes, I can totally appreciate because every time that it's rained and I'm in the office, I'll look out the windows there and be like, oh, hey, I guess I know what I'm not having to do when I get home tonight.
Right? Isn't that a wonderful feeling
It is,
when
especially this time of year when it doesn't get dark until like after 8:30.
Right. But the thing is, when you know, okay, I've got to work for the day, and then I've got to go home. What do I have to do? I've got to mow the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
And then it rains, and you can't mow the lawn. That's a wonderful feeling.
Kind of like getting your car washed and it rains, sorta.
Yeah, sort of the same thing. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, it's summer, and we are gathered here today. No, there's no flowers. Um, there might be food later to look back on 126, technically 124, because we had a little couple of skitsies there for a bit.
Skitsies.
Yes, we're making up words tonight, but we are celebrating 126 episodes of brotherly love of nerd brothers just nerding out about
Yeah.
TV shows and movies.
This is our final episode of what? This is our sixth season?
It is our sixth season.
So we're ending our fix. This is the end of our sixth season. How about that? Isn't that something? I can't believe it's been.
And Three's Company did end up getting other roommates, but none of them were quite as nice as Chrissy.
You know it. It never quite worked. Poor Susan's. Well, she went on to do the Thigh Master. She was just fine. Oh, I just realized she passed.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't just because we talked about her.
No. But, yeah, she did pass, right?
Yes, she did. But what was I going to say? We were talking about roommates, and yes, I was going to finish that with a sort of an irony, a twist on the Three's Company. There, I was just going to say you could come and knock on my door anytime.
Knock on my door.
So we are supposed to be here talking about a show.
I forget what the hell are we doing tonight?
Even though this is our 126th episode, we do have to eventually get to the point, which is the last time we were together, we had our friend from overseas joining us, Mr. Paul Chandler. And what did you say to summarize this episode? You said now for something
completely different?
Exactly.
Yes. And boy, I'll tell you, this is different.
It sure is. And in the spirit of things that are different, okay, maybe it's just because she had that all-nighter, but we're not supposed to talk about that.
No, don't talk about it.
But Miss Gertie, well, she's got something special on tonight, and let's just...
I don't know what it's all about, but I do know she's down in the studio. She will introduce the show. I know that much.
I mean, just like the pilot episode of Three's Company, I think she fell asleep in the bathtub after drinking some punch that turned the ladle green.
Oh God, I don't even want to know, DJ. I don't even want to know.
Hey, can you call down to our showgirl there and see if she's in her place?
Yeah. Gertie!
What?
Jesus. Are you ready to introduce the show?
Well, for God's sake, what do you think I'm doing down here? Twiddling my thumbs?
Okay, she's ready.
Okay, here we go.
Bob and Pickles are a charming couple who grew up on opposite sides of the tracks from each other. But somehow fate brought them together. Sure, their kids are each differently abled. Some might even say, deformed. But their home is filled with love, and they've learned to laugh at their misfortunes. Unlike those pompous, privileged folks up on the hill. Will little Milo ever stop flirting with danger? Will Helga ever be accepted by the Debbies? Grab some vermouth and a helmet. It's time for the Oblongs with the voices of Will Ferrell and Gene Smart. Take it away, fellas.
What do you get when you take a dash of the silver screen? A pinch of golden oldies, and a smidgen of screaming. It's time for Matinee Minutia with your hosts DJ and Toppy.
Oh, hey there.
Hi there.
So this is an animated show, which we don't hardly ever get to talk about, but this is something from 2000, so the beginning of the century, if you want to think of it that way. You know,
God, let's not think of it that way. Jesus.
You think you're getting old, Toppy? I read something recently that said, if you want pity, you talk to somebody by saying, you know, take it slow for me. I was born in the 1900s.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, we'll update that. Yeah.
So in 2000, Toppy, what do we do to get them in the mind?
Well, I always want you to remind everybody what was going on in the world history at that time.
All right. Let's see. Oh, wrong one. Let me get the right one. Okay, so
here we go.
this is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be a little quicker. It's the 3 most significant events of 2000. Okay, so don't blink, you'll miss them. So in 2000, well, Toppy is authority on this because he still uses them. America Online. They announced an agreement to purchase Time Warner, which still existed at that point, for $162 billion with a B.
Listen, I don't care. I still have an AOL address. Don't care. It still works. I've never had to change it for 1,000 years.
And at the time, this was the largest ever corporate merger. I mean, it was the last nail in the coffin because I'm not sure they lasted 10 more years after that, but that's another story.
It was actually a really big thing when Time Warner did that. Probably whoever was on, the board at Time Warner, they're patting themselves on the back.
In 2000, the state of Vermont, you know that place that's so famous for maple syrup? Well, they passed a law called HB, like Harry Bravo 847, which legalized civil unions for same-sex couples in 2000. So it was the beginning of the blue wave.
Oh, thank God! I thought it was like an STD or something.
Oh, we call it.
No, that's great.
We call it STI now, Toppy. It's treatable.
Okay.
Hillary Clinton is elected to the United States Senate in 2020, 4 years ago now. And she became the first lady of the United States to win a public office.
God bless her and her cankles. No, I'm sorry. I did not say
well,
cankles.
As they say, she caused the million cracks in the glass ceiling that's going to make it possible for that glass ceiling to be shattered. So,
well, absolutely. Should I talk about celebrity boys?
Oh, please do, Toppy. Who are the youngins that came into this world then?
Hopefully these are names I can pronounce. Okay, first of all, we want to go with Frankie Jonas. Oh, he's an actor, musician. Well, he's the youngest member of the Jonas Brothers. You know them. Yeah, sure you do. Their solo premiere album was Sewer Rat. Isn't that lovely? Released 2020.
Now, I should clarify that was Frankie Jonas's solo debut album. The Jonas Brothers was not Sewer Rat.
Okay. All right. Clarification. Thank you very much, DJ. Willow Smith. You know who that is? Well, it's the daughter of Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. You know, the Will who slapped somebody. Anyway, I don't know anything about that. But anyways, Willow Smith was born at this time. Let's talk about, unfortunately, some of the celebrity deaths that we had in this year of 2000. Walter Matthau, goodness me, from The Odd Couple. He was 80 years old when he passed. Steve Allen. Listen, do you know Steve Allen? Well, he was all over TV when TV was becoming TV. Do you know what I mean? He was
Mm.
79 years old when he passed. Jason Robards. We did one, well, at least one movie he was in. A wonderful actor. We know him from Max Dugan Returns. I believe that's the episode we did, right, TJ?
It was with
All
Marsha
right.
Mason and Matthew
Yes.
Broderick in one of his first roles.
Yes. So we remember him well from that and so many other wonderful roles. He passed at 78 years old. So that's it for celebrity voice and deaths.
Okay, so the topic for tonight is an animated TV show. It was on network television on Sunday nights, which we'll get to. And the other things that were competing for your attention Sunday nights at 8:30, well, over there on the WB, which is, home to Jeremiah J. Frog and shows like the Gilmore Girls. Well, they had what would they have? Oh, I'm sorry. That's where the Oblongs lived. I apologize.
Hey, that's it. Warner Brothers got the Oblongs. They
They
bidded for
sure,
it. And they got it.
they sure did. And so on the other networks, on ABC, the American Broadcast Company. After I
Whoa! Bless
sneeze.
you.
Oh, it was The Wonderful World of Disney, which in 2000
Wow! Bless you. Bless you.
was the
Oh
title
no.
for the weekly TV movie for ABC. So on Sunday nights on NBC was Dateline, which I have not
Oh no.
I have not worn this hat in a while, so it's a little dusty. And if you are viewing us on YouTube, or if you're not viewing us, we are on YouTube. You could see me in all my little jingly finery. Let's see here. So that was on NBC was Dateline, which of course was a weekly news review show.
Yeah, Dateline,
Mhm.
NBC. Didn't that become like the murdering show where every single Dateline was about a murder? And that's just what they glommed onto. Every episode is a murder. Am I right?
And who was stalking Barbara Wawa?
Well, I don't know.
So over on CBS, the eyeball, the big brother, it was touched by an angel because,
Aw.
we had a period where we were trying to impose religious views in home entertainment.
Okay, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Over on Fox, who was the new guy, they were out for a few years by that time.
Yeah, they were. Fox was pervy compared to everybody else.
We had a sitcom called
Pervy.
we had a sitcom airing on Sunday nights called Malcolm in the Middle. It was a junior high kid. And
Yeah,
over
that wasn't too pervy.
no.
What else did they have?
The new guy in town at the time was UPN. Do you know what UPN stood for, Toppy?
United Prenuptial Network.
Well, that's closer for nowadays because they are going through some sort of a divorce or whatnot. No, they're the vehicle that launched Star Trek Voyager, United Paramount Network, and over
Oh,
yeah. Michigan J Frog, I stand corrected. So, over on UPN on Sunday nights, they had this sort of variation of football that was called XFL because, the other network channels had the NFL. Well, UPN, for all of one season, whipped up this alternative football that was its own league, and it never played another season again. It was so bad, but it was heavily influenced by professional wrestling like WWF, but now they call it WWE because World Wildlife Fund and World Wrestling Federation can't have the same letters.
Okay.
But this was promoting fewer rules to encourage rougher play than the other major leagues, and its telecast featured sports entertainment elements inspired by professional wrestling. Wait a minute, this sounds like the Republican National Convention. Oh, did I say that out loud? Uh, but they included suggestively dressed cheerleaders. Were they not suggestive before? I don't know.
I don't know.
But Toppy, there are a few people that were in the writer's room that cooked up
Yes.
this thing that we're talking about called the Oblongs. Tell us about that majestic team of thinkers.
Yeah, this is really interesting, folks. So the co-creators of the Oblongs. The Oblongs, well, it's an American adult animated sitcom created by Angus Oblong and Jace Richdale. Did you know that the name of the Oblongs came from Angus's last name? I didn't. But yeah, his last name is Oblong. So this is a really interesting evolution. The series premiered on April 1st, 2001 on the WB, um, and quickly canceled due to low ratings on May 20. Uh, leaving, it had 5 episodes, and they canceled it. Never aired the last 5 episodes. So the remaining episodes were later aired on Cartoon Network's late night programming block, Adult Swim. And who doesn't love Adult Swim? Because I will tell you right now, the Oblongs belong in the category of adult programming, in my opinion. It's wacky, weird, and simply, I just don't think could be understood by children. And it's a cartoon. And this is, I don't know if I should call it a problem, but we have come up with cartoons in America that are aimed at adults. And cartoons are, you know, long since considered something that children watch. But there are a lot of cartoons out there that have come about, and certainly the Oblongs is one of them. Well, guidance, parental guidance is suggested. Let's at least say that. Anyways, by the way, if anyone's interested, and I hope you are, the Oblongs are currently running on Tubi, which is Tubi is my favorite current all favorite thing because it's just well, it's free. Anyways, the series, The Oblongs, is loosely based on a series of characters introduced in a picture book entitled Creepy Susie and 13 Other Tragic Tales for Troubled Children. And it was written by series co creator Angus Oblong. 3 networks had a bidding war to win the rights, so they all seemed to think this was going to be something good. They wanted to turn Angus Oblong's characters in a book into a series. Well, Warner Brothers won the bidding. A total of 13 episodes were produced. All, by the way, all three I'm sorry, all 13 episodes of The Oblongs released on DVD on October 4th, 2005. And DJ sent me that particular DVD, and I got all the episodes. So let's talk about Angus Oblong in particular. He was born in 76. He's an American writer and illustrator because, well, he worked on this creepy Susie and 13 other tragic tales for troubled children in 1999. And this 2001 animated television series, The Oblongs, well, the character Milo, which appeared in his creepy Susie book, was based on a young version of himself. The Milo that appeared on the television show The Oblongs was actually a less exaggerated version of the character from the book. So Oblong, well, every time I say Oblong, I think, well, that's the title of this cartoon, but it's the last name of Angus. Uh, Angus Angus Oblong, he was a fan of animated cartoons like Looney Tunes. He loved Animaniacs. He loved Freakazoid. He loved Earthworm Jim. He was also influenced by characters from the Dick and Jane books, but not just those characters, but very distorted, weird characters that he imagined from the Dick and Jane books. He also was a fan of the Brothers Grimm fairy tales and also the real life oddities in Ripley's Believe It or Not newspaper strip. So there's a theme running here, which is weirdness, abnormalities, sideshow freaks. It's all in there. So very interesting. Now his partner involved in the Oblongs is Jace Richdale. He is an American producer and writer. He served as co-executive producer for seasons 5 and 6 of The Simpsons.
Hmm.
And he wrote the season 5 episodes, Burns Air. He was part of The Simpsons writing staff during seasons 5, 6, 9, and 10. Other writing. Okay, just that alone. Okay, he's a guy that illustrated a book of weird characters, and he wants to get into, because he's a fan of animated cartoons. I want to make this an animated cartoon. Who does he hook up with? Well, a freaking guy that worked on The Simpsons. What could be better? The Simpsons was incredibly successful. By the way, Jace Richdale was also his other writing and credits include Dexter. I think you can see the connection there. Family Ties. I don't see the connection there. Family Ties was like way too white bread for him. But anyways, Get a Life. And the Oblongs. He also produced episodes of the Oblongs, Oliver Bean, and the movie Wiener Park. So this writer-illustrator hooks up with someone who is intimately involved in producing and writing an incredibly successful cartoon show, The Simpsons. And born out of it is The Oblongs. So there you go. That's the story there.
Okay, so let me see if I can find. Okay. We are at about a halfway mark in our show tonight. And so I am going to step on down to the refreshment stand because I've got to get to the bottom of this stack of letters. But we will have a clip of an interview for you for your listening enjoyment shortly. So, okay, I'm shuffling down the stairs.
Shuffling.
Gertie, don't ignore me. I see you crouched behind the popcorn machine.
Oh, I was just checking to see if we had enough buckets for the silent film festival they're holding here next weekend.
Nice try. Now, fess up about these letters. They're from the landlord. When we started meeting here, you said you were in the Red Hat Ladies with the owner's wife, and we had an agreement, or an arrangement.
Yeah. Yeah, about that.
Why do I have a feeling I'm not gonna like this?
Well, the other year when I got hitched after my summer gig in the Midwest, at that gentleman's club, remember that?
Yeah, I thought we were rid of you. I mean, you seem so happy. What happened?
Well, Arnold, well, that's the name. Arnold was the heir to a buckwheat fortune. Only he was 87 and his ticker wasn't so good. You know where I met him?
Oh, what did you do to get kicked out of the ladies' club, Gertie?
Oh, no, 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 no. Nothing, honest. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Well, okay. So who knew Cynthia was his niece? She didn't like that he put me on the will.
Oh, well
God damn it.
then, Miss Moneybags, you pay our rent.
Why, but I can't.
Why not?
Look, I put it all on a horse.
Oh.
Do you understand? It was supposed to be a sure thing. Oh my God, I'll never trust that shifty-eyed guy again. Oh my God. Oh.
Please return to your seats. Intermission is ending. If we paid you, I'd be garnishing your wages.
Wait. You get what you're paid for.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, so here for your listening enjoyment is an interview with the creators of the Oblongs.
My agency is a United Talent Agency, and someone there discovered a young man in San Francisco who was writing a comic book out of his home, and his name was Angus Oblong. My agent, Gary Cosset, knows that I'm a big comic book aficionado, and he also knows that I have a very bizarre sensibility, hence the Drew Carey Show. He thought I'd be interested in seeing these, so he sent me copies of the books.
My biggest influence for the Creepy Susie book, and thus the Oblongs, was Dick and Jane. I wanted to write tales that were like Dick and Jane. See Dick run, see Jane fall, see Jane bleed, see Dick cry. I thought that would be funny, so when I wrote the tales in the Creepy Susie book, that's pretty much what they are. They're just deformed, miserable Dick and Jane characters. And then that turned into the Oblongs.
They were really wonderful and very bizarre, kind of like Gain Wilson or Charles Addams, and in that kind of vein. The characters were very bent and weird.
Bruce Helford and I had the same sensibilities, same sense of humor. His input was really funny. He came up with some of the better jokes that ended up in the show. The original concept for the Oblongs was about Milo and his friends, the Clubhouse Kids. Helga, Susie, Peggy, Milo, and Mikey, and his little sister Beth. The network took me aside and said that it should be about the family. We should concentrate more on Pickles, Bob, the twins, Milo, and Beth.
It's set in a place called Hill Valley, which consists of hills and a valley. Our heroes, the Oblongs, live in this toxic valley, which is sort of responsible for their various problems and abnormalities. And the rich, beautiful people live in the hills and run all the factories, and they're above the pollution. But the interesting thing is that they're emotionally and spiritually challenged. I mean, they don't have much heart, whereas the people who live in the valley, because they're sort of forced to overcome these difficulties and sort of stick together, are loving, good people.
Everybody's got, some weird physical deformity that should be inhibiting them from leading a normal life, but they're just moving on. They all have values and morals at heart. It's just really sweet-natured, I think.
I think it takes things one step further. I mean, we because of this situation we've set up with the haves and have-nots, we're able to do even more, I think, with social satire.
There are definite political overtones to the show that I hope people will pick up on and appreciate.
It's a reflection, but a carnival mirror reflection of society, I guess.
Cool cloud ride!
When Angus first created the characters, he was just creating people who were underdogs. And I think that he was really intrigued by the visual possibilities. So we've got to do something that requires animation. There are too many animated shows out there right now that could have been done with human beings with just some kind of a skew to their attitudes. The Oblongs are all characters who are mutated because of their horrible environment. With that, they really require animation. There aren't enough people to go to who are armless and legless actors who might be able to play Bob, or little girls with big tumors sticking out of their head like Beth.
In the process of casting live, you are really looking at the entire actor. You're looking at them physically, you're looking at them facially, you're looking at what they bring once they start to perform. But you instantly make a judgment on who the person is the minute they walk in the room. It's not fair, but it's the way it works. Doing animation, you never look at the actors. It's so specific that it makes it easier to do because you really are just focused on the vocal quality, and then the energy, I think, is the best way to explain it, that the actor may bring.
Okay, so, we talked about the folks in the writer's room that created this thing, this oddity, this actually, fun little guilty pleasure to have, because, who wants normal?
Exactly. That's why it's fun.
Yes, and, some might say that this probably would stand a fair chance if it were something that were made more modern days here. So we're going to talk about the folks behind the characters that lend their voices to Bob and Pickles and Helga. So I'll start off by telling you about Mr. Will Ferrell. He voiced the father figure, the head of the family, Mr. Bob Oblong. And what was special about Bob, of course? Well, he didn't have any limbs. He was just a head and a body.
He bounced, didn't he? He bounced.
Oh, yes.
Somehow he bounced.
Mm-hmm. And, Mr. Will Ferrell was born in Irvine, California, and his parents were originally from North Carolina, so they had a plan and they made their dream come true. Moved out to the West Coast there. Well, Will Ferrell began acting in his mid to late scratch that. Will Ferrell began acting in the mid to late 1990s. His parents divorced when he was only 8. Now, his father was a musician. In fact, he actually played saxophone and keyboard for the Righteous Brothers. You know, the ones that sang about "You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin'"?
Oh, no.
And due to the transient nature of his dad's work, meaning that he, traveled quite a lot and didn't get paid very often, Will was convinced from an early age that he should never work in show business. Now,
oh, no.
Mm-hmm. Now, by high school, Will and his best friend would perform comedy skits over the school intercom system, and he would sometimes even involve the principal.
Okay, I got to ask you, DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Think back to high school, because my high school did this.
Yeah.
There was this time when you were in what they called homeroom. It was the first place you went to in the day where they, you were only there for like 10 minutes, where they made sure, you showed up and they took attendance. And maybe you said the Pledge of Allegiance or whatever. But one of the things that happened in that 10 or 15 minutes were people, I'm sure nerds, first of all, would do these intercoms where they would tell the news or whatever events of the day in the high school. Did your high school have that?
Yeah, we just called them announcements.
Announcements.
Now, I don't remember them getting very elaborate, but, that stage, I'm old enough that I remember when you used to have to go to the media center with the videotape that you were going to play for your classroom, because they only had a VCR in there, and then you had to go back to your classroom and you turned it on to a certain channel for you to be able to watch it.
Wait a minute, DJ, are you saying you were one of the intrepid crews of the media where you took the TV into a classroom and plugged it all in? And did you do that?
I didn't have to. The classrooms had TVs, but you still had to, you still had to take the tape in and have it played because the classrooms didn't have their own at the time.
Got it. Okay.
So, bear with me a moment. I'm shuffling things around, and
no problem.
Let's see if I could save this to the right place. I did. Okay, and let me get back to where I was.
Yeah, you were talking about Will Ferrell, and he did comedy skits over the school intercom, and
Uh-huh.
sometimes involved the principal. And then what else did he do?
Oh yeah. So, um, let's see. In college, he performed. Sorry. Yeah, he in college. Will Ferrell participated in soccer, basketball, and student council.
Oh,
There, he was introduced to the idea of slapstick comedy. And he would pretend to smash his face into walls or trip just to get his classmates to laugh.
okay. Can I tell you, DJ? I was that guy.
You were?
I was that guy in junior high and high school who would deliberately walk into walls or open a door and smash it into my face, only not really. It just made it sound like that to get a laugh. I was that guy, DJ.
Oh, I was the guy that relaxed a little too much in my desk in, I don't remember if it was Spanish class, but I had slouched so far down in my chair that I had to pull myself up. And let's just say that what goes in must come out.
Oh my God, I'm not sure what you're trying to say.
Oh, I had to release a little pressure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so, with guest appearances, he would, okay. So, Will Ferrell would, begin working in television, and his first guest appearances were on Grace Under Fire, with one of my favorite stand-up comics, Brett Butler, and Living Single, which of course starred a former Facts of Life star Kim Fields in Living Single, and before being cast to join the long-running Saturday Night Live, which Will Ferrell later became part of to do sketch comedy. And he participated in Saturday Night Live from 1995 to 2002. So Farrell would appear in 10 films over the first 5 years of his career. His first film role was as a supporting character in the 97 Mike Myers film Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery.
Oh my God, that was great.
And his first breakout role, because he was playing one of the lead characters, was based on some characters he had done in Saturday Night Live skits. In '98, he was in a film called A Night at the Roxbury, and it was all about those macho club-going guys and how they
Yes.
picked up girls.
They jiggled their heads in time with the music. Of all the things to base a movie on, I'll never understand. But okay. It happened. A Night at the Roxbury happened in 98.
In the 5 years that would follow the Oblongs, Farrell would appear in 12 more films, including a film called Old School that starred Luke Wilson, Vince Vaughn, Juliette Lewis, and Leah Remini. It's in 2003, Old School. Some fraternity pranks in that. And then, of course, everybody knows about a little film he did for the holidays. It was 2003, and it's featured, amongst others, a celebrity who recently passed, Mr. Bob Newhart. He was in
he
Elf,
played,
and
Elf, yeah.
Elf with James Caan and Mary Steenburgen, which, sorry to tell you this, folks, but the only reason I watch Elf is for Mary Steenburgen and Will Ferrell's co-star Zoe Deschanel.
Really?
I'm not going to say that I don't think Will Ferrell has talent, because I'm not an actor. I'm not a good judge of that. I'm sure that he does many things that I am not able to. But Elf is not my cup of tea, really. But also, Will Ferrell appeared in the 2004 film Anchorman with Christina Applegate.
That's what I most remember him
As
in.
Ron
Anchorman.
Burgundy, yes. With Christina Applegate, Steve Carell, and Paul Rudd. So, Mr. Will Ferrell has received 4 Primetime Emmy Awards for his work as a producer on the drama series Succession from 2019.
Never saw it. Never saw it. Did you see it?
No, but I might catch it for some of the guests. And
I don't know nothing about it. Was it a comedy? Was it a drama?
I'm not quite sure.
I don't know.
But he also got one of his Emmy Awards for the specials live in front of a studio audience from 2019 to 22. I'm guessing that that's from his producing work. He might have done some of the behind-the-scenes stuff for the Norman Lear programs that were done.
Okay, all right.
He also produced the series I'm Sorry from 2017 to 2019.
Never heard of it.
And the series Dead to Me.
Okay, I've heard of that.
And there's now this one is kind of something you should sue for the movie rights because it's drunk history.
Oh no.
And you know why?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, they have this thing that you say in the work environment where it only has to look like water, and you know, one of Gertie's favorite movies I hear is 9 to 5. She loves to quote that line, "Atta girl." So, anyways, that was Drunk History 2013 to 19. And he also, for his work on Broadway, he received a Tony Award nomination for Best Special Theatrical Event for his satirical portrayal of George W. Bush in You're Welcome, America.
All right.
Will Ferrell, the Will Ferrell films that I've enjoyed the most are the 2005 film that he did with Nicole Kidman, which was a remake of the 70s TV show Bewitched, which I found very charming. And I'm forgetting the lady who played Endora in that. I want to say that it was Shirley MacLaine. And
if it was, that's a wonderful casting choice.
It was absolutely topping. If you've never seen the 2005 Bewitched movie, you're coming over because I'll show it to you.
Okay.
And then
I watched it because of Shirley MacLaine.
Oh, absolutely. She's almost better than Agnes Moorehead, and bite my tongue on that one.
Whoa.
And another favorite of mine with Will Ferrell was 2006 Stranger Than Fiction. He plays a character that comes to life as the writer is writing the book out loud. So Emma Thompson plays this author, and her character comes to life and is played by Will Ferrell in this movie, Stranger Than Fiction.
I get it, yeah.
So, in more recent years, Ferrell continues to work in television and film, including voice work. He has appeared as the CEO of Mattel in the 2023 Barbie movie with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, and Doctor Who's Ncuti Gatwa.
Ncuti Gatwa?
Hey now, be careful. Let's see here. He provided a voice for character of Maxime in the 2024 Despicable Me 4, which is only one of that series. There's like 7 or 8 animated features, and that has the voices of Steve Carell, former Saturday Night Live co-star there, and Kristen Wiig, who was originally from good old Rochester. Actually, I think it was Pittsford, but Rochester area. And most recently, Will Ferrell has had guest appearances on the Amazon series called The Boys, which is about a group of vigilantes set out to take down corrupt superheroes who abuse their superpowers. Now, here's your Star Trek, sir.
Oh, no, there has to be one in every episode. Go ahead, DJ.
Star
Trek Connection.
The Boys from Amazon stars Mr. Carl Urban, who plays a wonderful young Dr. McCoy in the 2009 and forward Star Trek films, as well as son of Dennis, Jack Quaid, who does the voice of Boimler on Star Trek Lower Decks.
Oh, my God. Okay, there you go, folks. The Star Trek Connection.
And to date, Will Ferrell has 136 acting credits.
Oh, good for him. That's awesome. Let's talk about Jean Smart, DJ. She played Pickles. She's the wife and mother in the series. Well, Jean Smart was born in 1951. She's an American actress. She's received. Now, I really like talking about Jean Smart. Isn't she beloved in the K community? She is.
She
Well, let me
is.
tell you why. She has received numerous accolades, including 5 Primetime Emmy Awards, a Gloden. How about Golden? That's right. It's actually Golden Globe Award for Critics' Choice Awards and 2 Jesus, Screen Actors Guild Awards, as well as nominations for a Tony Award and a Grammy Award. How does all one woman do that? Well, Smart first gained prominence for her leading role as Charlene Fraser Stillfield on the CBS sitcom Designing Women, a gay favorite
Mm-hmm.
from 1986 to 1991. It was an ensemble cast, so I think all those ladies and even the guy, what's his face, was beloved. She went on to win 5 Primetime Emmy Awards for her roles as Lana Gardner in the NBC series Frasier from 2000 to 2001. Okay, I watched Frasier. I don't remember Gene Smart in it, but okay, fine. But she was also in. She was starred as Regina Newley in the ABC sitcom Samantha Who. That was 2007 to 2009. And she was Deborah Vance in the HBO Max comedy series Hacks from 2021. And I guess it's still in production.
Mm-hmm.
She was Emmy nominated for her roles in The District, 24, Harry's Law, Fargo, and Watchmen. And the mayor of Easttown. She also acted in FX's Legion and voiced and Possible in the Disney Channel animated series Kim Possible. That was 2002, 2007. Do you get the idea that
Mm-hmm.
she has a wide range? She's kind of known for comedy, but really she can do it all. Um, on stage, Jean Smart made her Broadway debut portraying Marlene Dietrich in the biographical play Piaf, Piaf. And all I know is that it must be Piaf in 1981. She returned to Broadway in the revival of The Man Who Came to Dinner in the year 2000, and she was nominated for a Tony Award for Best Actress in a Play for that. Uh, let's move on to film because she wasn't just doing Broadway and TV. She did film. Smart's film credits include The Brady Bunch movie in 95, Sweet Home Alabama 2002, Golden State in 2004, I Heart Huckabees in 2004, Youth in Revolt 2009, The Accountant, and A Simple Favor, and Babylon. She received an Independent Spirit Award for Guinevere in 1999. So she was just shortly now. She was raised in Seattle, Washington, and in 1969 she graduated from Ballard High School in Seattle. And it was in high school she gained this interest in acting because she was in the drama program. And she graduated, going on to study acting, she graduated from the University of Washington Professional Actors Training Program with a BFA. And this is like a perfect career arc. After graduating from college, she just started working around regional theater where she lived throughout the Pacific Northwest, like Washington, Alaska, Oregon. And she performed with the Seattle Repertory Theater, as well as the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in Ashland, Oregon. And she did all of that, which is just perfect, like progression from high school and college. And then she gets out there and does regional things. But then she moves to New York City in the mid 70s. And she began working in off Broadway and professional regional productions in New York. So in 1980, she did Macbeth at the Pittsburgh Public Theater, playing Lady Macbeth. In 1981, she was nominated for a Drama Desk Award for her performance in the off-Broadway play Last Summer at Bluefish Cove. In 1981, Smart appeared in a Broadway production of Bluff, playing Marlene Dietrich. And that's a role she reprised later when it was made for television in 1984. In addition to theater, Smart began working in television way back when in several smaller to mid-sized guest parts in the late 70s, early 80s. So this is before Designing Women. She appeared on shows like The Facts of Life, Alice, Remington Steele, shows of that sort. And that was her progression. What a career. She has been busy, busy, busy. And all the while, somehow, she's just caught the allure of gay men. I don't know. It's just something. Fun fact to end with on Jean Smart. On season 10 of the television show Who Do You Think You Are? Where, well, I've never seen it, but I guess what they do is like they get DNA from the guest star, in this case, Jean Smart, and then they try to find out who their descendants are. And so on season 10 of Who Do You Think You Are, Smart discovered she is the maternal descendant of Dorcas Harr, one of the last women convicted of witchcraft during the Salem witch trials. So there you go. That's Jean Smart. And we love her.
I think that alone should get her a role in Hocus Pocus 3.
Well, goodness knows, really.
Okay, so we've talked about the husband, we've talked about the wife, Bob and Pickles, and well, I think, Toppy, there's a certain irony to their names because, of course, Bob has no limbs, so that's how he gets around as he bobs. And,
Kinda, yeah.
her name is Pickles because, well, that's how her liver is treated.
She's pickled
constantly. So
now let's talk. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say we're going to talk about the little girl who lives across the street.
Oh, dear.
One of the Oblong's children's playmates is a character named Helga Fugly, because,
Helga Fugly.
the F word plus ugly is that, kind of like hangry. But Leah Delaria played Helga. Now, Leah was born and raised in Belleville, Illinois. Now, this is east of St. Louis, Missouri, but it's in Illinois. Now, Leah Delaria's mother was a homemaker, and her father was a jazz pianist and a social worker. Delaria began her career in stand-up comedy, having moved to San Francisco by the age of 24, way back in 82 in the Reagan years. And over the next decade, she would appear in comedy clubs and, of course, gay musicals. In 93, she was the first openly gay comic to appear on a late-night talk show, the Arsenio Hall Show. Now, while appearing on the show, Delaria said, "Hello, everybody. My name's Leah Delaria, and it's great to be here because it's the 1990s. It's hip to be queer. I'm a big dyke." Now, Delaria later said she had been told, because, censor, she was told that she should not have used the term dyke on the air. And Arsenio Hall later defended her, saying, "If she wants to call herself a dyke, that's her business."
Thank you.
Now, Delaria has, at that time, released 2 CDs of her comedy, which first was Bulldyke in a China Shop in 94, and then, of course, in 97, followed up by Box Lunch, because what else would you call it? And she's also written a humorous book entitled Leah's Book of Rules for the World. Now, in 96, Delaria played the part of a woman friend of Carol and Susan in the Friends episode, the one with the lesbian wedding. And in 99, Delaria played recurring roles of Madame Delphina on ABC's soap One Life to Live. And she returned in 2008 as both Delphina and a character named Professor Delbert Fina. She continued to portray Delphina on a recurring basis until 2011. Now, Delaria has appeared in both off-Broadway and Broadway productions. She has subsequently played Eddie and Dr. Scott in the 2000 Broadway revival of the Rocky Horror Picture Show and can be heard on the cast recording of that time. In 2008, Warner Records released the Live Smoke Sessions. Delaria's first recording focused on timeless pop standards because, again, her dad was a jazz pianist, and such as Down with Love, Night and Day, Love Me or Leave Me, and Come Rain or Come Shine. She noted, "I styled this CD on the old school live recordings. It is my hope that this CD will take you back to 1948 and the Village Vanguard. So please let me invite you to mix a cocktail and enjoy a smoke where you sit back and soak up the swing."
Okay.
Yeah. Now, in 2013, Delaria was cast in Netflix's Orange is the New Black. And here's another Star Trek connection because that relaunched the career of one Kate Mulgrew, who played our first woman starship captain in Voyager. So Delaria joined Netflix's Orange is the New Black in 2013 as a supporting character who was an inmate, of course, because it was a women's prison, Carrie Big Boo Black. And to date, Delaria has appeared in 11 films, including some of my favorites, of course. First Wives Club in 96. I hope you've seen this topic, because if you haven't, I'm taking away your gate card. With Goldie Hawn.
I've seen it.
Good. Yeah. Goldie Hawn, Diane Keaton, and Bette Midler. And, of course, the only reason there was never a sequel made is because, equal pay. In 98, Delaria was in one of my favorites called Edge of 17. Now, Toppy, you might be interested to know that this was a film by Todd Stevens, who wrote the story of the film that we watched not long ago with Ian McKellen, Swan Song. And that took place in Sandusky, Ohio. And in 2018, Delaria was in Support the Girls, which was a film about a, sort of a bar that took advantage of women because, show off your assets. And this starred Regina Hall, who got her rise to fame through the Scary Movie series of films.
Okay.
So, outside of comedy and acting, Delaria has released not one, not two, 5 jazz albums, including Play It Cool in 2001, in 05, Double Standards, in 06, The Very Best of Leah Delaria, and apparently that wasn't the end because there were more. Leah Delaria, The Live Smoke Sessions, and most recently in 2015, House of David. So there you go, Leah Delaria, who played Helga Fugly.
Helga Fugly. The design of these characters, folks, if you haven't seen it, is kind of amazing. It goes back to the original creator who was drawing basically comic strips about these characters. I'm talking about Angus Oblong. It's just what he did. And he sort of created the look and design of these characters. And it's pretty much held through right along to the creation of the animated series, The Oblongs. And the characters are weird. And they're built weird. And why are they built weird? Well, the story goes that there is a town, what is it called? Hill Valley, right, TJ?
Yes, sir.
And it's a hill and a valley. And the rich people live on the hill, and all of their disgusting, what do we want to say about it? Mutant-causing agents that run off from their homes, as we want to do in America, because we love that, dribbles down into the valley, where the not-so-fortunate folks develop mutations. What do we got here, DJ, in this family? There's conjoined twins. There's a father who has no arms and legs. What else we got?
We have a little Goyle who has a growth on her head.
I love her.
Beth.
I love her and her little growth.
Oh my goodness! And they
looks
say
like a pickle.
And they say out of the mouth of babes. Now, some of the things that little girl would say. I will.
She loves to gossip.
One of my favorite things and most known things, of course, is when she says, "Daddy has a magazine with pictures of naked women hugging."
Oh my God! There's a lot to enjoy about this cartoon. It's a little warped. It's very well. It's adult. And I enjoyed it a lot. When did we start seeing cartoons of this type, DJ? Was it Ren and Stimpy?
Ooh.
Was it The Simpsons, the original cartoons?
I want to say The Simpsons probably pushed the envelope, and then Ren and Stimpy probably took it and ran with it.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like the sound of that.
And I don't think it was at the same time, but shortly after The Simpsons and before The Oblongs, you had things of the macabre nature, because there was also eventually an animated series based on the movie Beetlejuice.
Oh God, I guess I knew, but I didn't know. But I'm thinking of other influencers like Family Guy, and certainly South Park, for heaven's sakes.
Oh yeah.
Maybe even Beavis and Butthead. But it's this whole idea of, okay, here's the idea, the way I see it. The idea is you can have characters saying the most horrible, disgusting, unlikable things, but if they're animated, somehow it's more palatable and more funny. In other words, you could not do the things in the Oblongs or all of these cartoons we've just mentioned if it was live action. You just couldn't. I'm thinking particularly of how I've listened to many podcasts that did prank calls. Okay? These prank calls would make me wince, would make me want to turn the podcast off. I hated it. I didn't like it. And I hated it. But there was a television show called, oh God, what was it called?
Crank Yankers.
Thank you, DJ, you know it.
Yeah.
And what was it about Crank Yankers that made crank calls palatable and funny? The They didn't have live actors, they had
Puppets.
That's why Oblongs and all of these weird cartoons that are disturbing and fucked up can get away with what they do because they're animated. Don't you agree? Isn't that it?
Absolutely. My favorite part of Crank Yankers was the character that was the assistant to the celebrities because they had gossip about everyone, including children's book author J.K. Rowling, who we, of course, in more recent years have learned is a transphobe. But, this puppet talked about how she secretly hated children and she liked to squirt them in the eyes with a squirt gun that had fruit punch.
Jesus. Anyways, I just think it's very interesting that these animated cartoons can get away with things that are really sometimes vile.
Yes.
And disturbing, but it's somehow we forgive it because it's these animated characters doing it. I think it's wonderful. I think it's fascinating. Oblongs was certainly part of this trend. But you know what? It only lasted like what, 13 episodes?
Yeah. I want to say though that they couldn't have done better with their casting because you have not laughed from watching a cartoon as much as you have when you hear Jean Smart playing a parent who's an alcoholic, of course, by the way, and saying things to her children like, Milo, didn't I spank you last night? And his response was, no, that was Dad. And she says, mind your own business.
It's so twisted, but I love it. And this series didn't last long, and I don't really know why, because it was doing the same kinds of things that Simpsons and Family Guy and they all did, but somehow it didn't last long. But it's wonderfully depraved, but also somehow has a heart. And it's kind of remarkable.
Oh, one of my favorite moments, aside from the two that I've mentioned, was the episode where Helga's parents mysteriously disappear after going on a cruise. I don't know if you got to see this one, but she gets put up for adoption, and this old lady who's a religious nut job has put her in a chastity belt, basically, and is having her travel the neighborhood proselytizing. In case you don't know what that means, is basically missionary work. And when Helga comes to visit the Oblongs at their front door, she closes her eyes so that you could see she has written on her eyelids the words, "Help me."
Exactly. So I think there's a place for, let's just call it twisted shows like this that are animated that reflect upon, and they do reflect upon our society and the norms, and they do it in a way that you just couldn't do. You just couldn't do this in anything other than an animated series. So that's why I say The Oblongs is one of many that we have out there that do this. And I guess maybe The Simpsons is the longest running, although The Simpsons is tame compared to The Oblongs or some of these other cartoons. Don't you think? I mean,
yeah, there's a reason that when the show was taken off the air, they put it on a time slot called Adult Swim.
Yes, and it really is. It does belong to the adult. I firmly believe it belongs to the adult community. I can't say enough about this cartoon and why it's enjoyable. DJ, how did you come in contact with it, and like, why did you suggest it?
Oh, goodness. I think that I probably became aware of this when the last few episodes were being aired on Adult Swim. If I didn't see it when it was first run, it was shortly thereafter because they didn't have it in reruns for years to come after it was taken off of the WB. But that's when I learned of it, and I had forgotten about it, honestly. But hubby, jogged a memory, and we watched a few episodes, and so I decided that this was so deliciously twisted and borderline sick that it had to be shared with you because we are all about the guilty pleasures and depraved moments here.
Um, Absolutely, for sure. And this wins, and it wins because it is depraved, and it wins because it somehow has a heart. So I thank you for introducing me to the Oblongs.
So, before we go ahead and talk about other things you might enjoy, we're going to have a brief interlude here. So, this will be removed in post production, but we're going to have another little skit here. And Toppy, act a little surprised to hear me interrupting the show, okay?
Wait a minute, let me see if I'm in the right place in the script.
Uh-huh.
Wait! What is your lead line?
It's
Wait a minute.
it's Landlord Fiasco.
Got it. I'm there.
And
Go
then
ahead.
scene 3, my phone rings.
Got it.
Okay,
there.
so we're a little out of place, but here we go. Wait a minute. What? My phone ringing? Hello, this is DJ.
Hey there, it's your cousin Cletus. He called the other day asking if I had a sofa on the back porch.
Yeah, would it be okay if I crash at your place for a bit?
About that, you see, Mama's got a new man friend, and he don't take kindly to strangers.
But we're family.
That's all right. You can stay out back in the pop-up camper with me.
That sounds fine. I'll see you in a couple days.
Just remember, we don't live in Paducah. That's Mama's name. We're in Overland Park.
Overland Park, got it. I'll update my route. See you then, cuz.
Well, I'll see you soon. Hope you don't mind llamas.
Llamas?
Oh, good Lord. I don't even know what that means.
So, we are out here near the lobby, and this is the part...
That's where we are, the lobby.
Yes, we are out here, and this is where we talk about other things you might enjoy if you're sick and twisted like us because you like the Oblongs.
I hope you are sick and twisted.
Yes. What did they say? How did I get here? Well, I brought you here, kind sir.
There you go.
So I'm going to recommend a little animated show that actually ran for about 6 years, and this was on MTV. So in the spirit of Beavis and Butthead, there was a show called Daria, and this
very
was
popular.
Yes, it was a smart and cynical girl who goes through teenage life as a proud outsider in a world of mainly idiotic adolescents and condescending adults. Daria from '97.
Because adults are condescending to children.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw it, but I sure heard a lot about it. Well, that's an excellent choice, DJ. I have something a little unusual. Look, when I saw the Oblongs, all I could think about was the father who had no arms and legs, and he bounced along. And all I could think about, DJ, was a movie made in 1932 in American pre-code, which means they could fucking do just about whatever they wanted to do because it was prior to code. And Hollywood didn't have too many rules back then. I'm talking about Freaks. It's a movie called Freaks, 1932, directed by Todd Browning. Well, he's the guy that directed 1931's Dracula with Bela Lugosi. Freaks is set amongst the backdrop of a traveling French circus and follows a conniving, oh, she's evil, a conniving trapeze artist who wants to join a group of carnival sideshow performers with a plan to seduce and murder a midget who we would not call a midget in today's world. He would say a little person. Um, she planned to seduce and murder a midget in the troupe to gain his inheritance because he was a rich son of a bitch. Anyways, her plot proves to have dangerous consequences, and that's Freaks from 1932, directed by Todd Browning. It's freakish, but it does have a character who in real life had no arms and legs. I'm just saying, you got to have a little bit of courage to watch Freaks. And it really is a significant product of its time during this pre-code era of American film. It's a effed up movie, but it will leave you freaked out. It's Freaks, 1932. And I'm only recommending it because the father, God loves, has no arms and legs. That's the only reason. There you go.
Okay, so we are turning our page, and we have another little skit that goes on here. So more post production magic. So I'm writing a letter right now, and I'm doing it kind of hurried in the office. So scribble, scribble, scribble. Dear Mike, thanks for agreeing to let me borrow your bus. There's been a change of plans. No time to explain. See Gertie for the bread. She's good for it.
Hey. Oh.
Okay, sir. So, let me think about how I want to do this. Let's see. I thought I had something written out here, but let me just look for this. So, I was thinking about the occasion, and of course, we're going to have a moment to have our little bow and our wave. But in retrospect of 6 seasons and 126 episodes, I thought that I would just say this.
Let's not say goodbye. Let's just say au revoir.
And I did you hear what she said?
Let's just say goodbye. Let's just say au revoir.
And do you know where that comes from?
No, I don't.
Oh, it's your mama's favorite actress and singer.
Let's not say goodbye. Let's just say au revoir.
Barbra Streisand?
Yes. And
what movie was that from?
What's up, Doc?
Oh, was it really?
And, I searched and searched for that clip because I thought for sure that it was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure because he was so big on her speaking French and her going to Paris. And it wasn't at all. It was in What's Up, Doc, which is perfect because we discussed that on a previous episode.
We did.
And the terrible thing is, if I had included the whole clip, it was an exchange between her and her love interest, and he intercepted by saying, "No, let's say goodbye." But here you are again, folks, after 126 episodes and 6 years.
Let's not say goodbye. Let's just say au revoir.
And,
No.
at some point we determined it was spoken, it was thought, it was realized that we've had quite a few films in recent years that included the 80s. And I just want to say, and maybe this is my little tribute, that after having spent 6 years behind a microphone with you, I feel that maybe the reason why I picked so many 80s movies was because that was a time when I was a child. And since I'm the youngest of my family, I didn't really have the big brother that I should have. My brother was 7 years older and didn't want to hang out with me. So I feel like watching all of these 80s movies with you was like having the big brother that I should have had.
Oh, DJ, you know what? That really touches me. It means something to me. And because I feel like I know what that's like, and that's special that you shared that with me. I just want to say that I have completely enjoyed my collaboration with you. Um, Unbelievably, I guess 6 years. It doesn't seem possible. I'm ready to move on, and I'm very anxious to have more time for my own podcast. And I'll tell you what, DJ, you know what? Our friendship began before Matinee Minutia.
Mm-hmm. It sure did.
I'll just remind you. I'm sure you remember, but for
I
the
dragged
audience sake.
I dragged you out to a cornfield.
And that's just what I was gonna say.
Oh.
You were a listener of the Smellcast, and it was before you started. I think you had started a trial podcast, but maybe that was done with. You had yet to start several podcasts of your own. Um, and I knew you as a listener, and you said, "Hi, I live in Rochester, and hi, I'm not far from Pickle Hollow, and hey, come over because we got this here event." Getting lost in a corn maze. Whoa. And I said, oh, I'd love to join you. And that's where I met you and your hubby, Billy, for the first time. And later, somehow, I don't even remember how, but somehow you started this idea of Matinee Minutia, and you wanted me to co-host, and I agreed. And it went on from there for the next 6 years. But DJ, I want to tell you, I may be leaving Matinee Minutia, but I am not leaving our friendship. Because I'll tell you something. You and Billy have become very important in my life because we've experienced a lot together, a lot of fun stuff. And, we've shared bad times, and that's not going to end.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to go on with Matinee Minutia, and hopefully with a new co-host, and I hope you do well. But I want you to know I may be bidding farewell to Matinee Minutia, but I am not bidding farewell to our friendship because that can't be done. That's never going to be done. So, DJ, I just wish you the best.
Thank you. There was a little back and forth, some little sort of trial recipes, if you will, before we decided to do this collaboration that we've had these last few years. And that all started with a New Year's Eve special that I decided to do as a live show. And at the time, I didn't know about turning my volume down on background music, and it may have gone horribly, but we kicked the tires, and we had a few shows of my old podcasts where we talked about movies, so we were moving in the right direction. We just hadn't decided to do that full time, if you will, so I knew that we were going in the right direction as we started to have more fun. And for those of you who didn't know or maybe haven't heard some of these episodes where I peel back the layers, the Marionette Theater is named after my dad's biological mother. My grandmother, who I did not get to know because she remarried and moved away. So the Marionette is named after my grandmother. So it's a place that we've had fun in, and a way that I got to know someone who was never a part of my life. So an honor to something that never was.
Well, I honor that, and for me, MatMin issue brought to me many things that I just never would have seen. So, for me, that's a wonderful thing because I've been exposed to things because of your show that I just never would have dropped in on. And I'll just tell you, oblongs would be one of them.
I still have a clip from the first time that we watched a questionable movie together, and that would have been Chevy Chase and Carrie Fisher in Under the Rainbow.
Oh my God, did we have a lot to say about that one?
And that had little people too.
Yeah, oh God, that's right.
But one of the things that you should know, listeners, is Toppy talks about the recent gift he received of the oblongs. Well, only somebody who would know my interest in the special and macabre and twisted would be in tune with my personality enough to gift me a miniature cemetery in a teacup.
Oh. Yeah, yes, I did.
Because part of my interest in genealogy involves going to old cemeteries because I appreciate the artistry in some of those old headstones. Nowadays, things are just mass produced, but in the days gone by, there was somebody who actually skillfully carved those things. So you take a step back in time when you see and you find out, oh, my ancestor fought in the Civil War, for example.
Exactly. I love visiting old cemeteries, and I know you do too. And that moss-covered teacup was perfect for you. Remember when you, me, and Billy went to the graveside of the drag queen?
Divine.
Yes. And that was, we went to that. And by the way, the entire graveyard was interesting to all of us. And we coalesced at the gravestone of the person we wanted to see. But anyways, I don't know what I'm saying, DJ, but I really dig old cemeteries myself.
So, as they say that we may be parting company, but we won't be strangers, and so of course that's what I mean by this.
Let's not say goodbye. Let's just say au revoir.
Au revoir. Au revoir. There you go, DJ.
Okay, so I picked up the keys to the VW bus that our janitor was selling. And, and through the magic of post-production, we're going to hear Gertie riding off on her motorcycle. And, go ahead and
Wait,
get...
do I need to get the script up?
If you haven't closed it, it's the last line there, sir.
Oh, okay.
And,
Wait, I haven't found it yet. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Hold on. No, that's not it. Uh-oh, I may have lost it.
Again. I'm not talking about your marbles. I'll send you another link in that super secret place.
Okay. La 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 la. Uh-oh. Here we go. Hold on, folks.
Testicular difficulties.
I'm gonna scroll down, and we're at end scene, right?
Yeah, and you can just read through all of that because I already read my part. So, we are out here at the lobby and we are saying our goodbyes, and Gertie is riding off on a motorcycle.
Bye! Bye, everyone. I'm getting out of here. Fuck y'all! Anyways, no, it's fine. No, I didn't mean fuck y'all. I mean, okay, I gotta get out of here. Bye!
Okay, that's not
I think I just ad-libbed all of that.
Yes, you did. There's a line at the very bottom. Did you find it yet?
No, that's the problem.
Wait
a minute. Okay, is that it? See what Jose's?
Yes.
Okay. All right. See ya at Jose's, Tappy. You're buying. Bye. Oh, you're gonna have plenty of post-production cleanup in that one.
Right, and then here I go with a sound effect from a movie we watched together, but we didn't talk about in a show. So I'm pulling up in the VW bus, and let me see if this will do a loop for me. Yes, okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and ow, you know what? That may not have enough reduced volume. So let me see.
Hi, everyone. We're winging it.
Right. So I'm just gonna get.
Bang, bang.
I'm just gonna get out of town, cause that beep Gertie has done stuck us with the bill. So I am heading out there to Kansas to find my cousin, and you'll just have to come back to see what's coming up next.
That's right. There you go, folks.
Chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. Oh, you pretty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, we love you. Oh, okay. I gotta stop the loop. And here we go with our exit music. Now, you might remember this tune, Toppy, because I used it in our very first season. It's sort of a slow, sad, jazzy tune from the 30s or 40s. I think it was Say It Isn't So, but here we go. Thank you for listening to Matinee Minutia. Tonight's performance was our final live presentation. Yours truly will be returning in mid-September with new episodes. Please join us on YouTube for future recording sessions. Don't forget, you can catch Toppy on The Smellcast and Lotzel and DJ on Surely You Jest. Enjoy your summer and stay safe.
No, I'm okay.
Oh, look, Norman, the loons!
Wait a minute, I gotta say goodnight, Gracie, one last time. Say goodnight, Gracie! Bye.
Gracie, she passed away 3 years ago.
I don't know.
I'm gonna stop the recording.
Okay.
And if I get over to the other screen here, I can stop the broadcast.